G'day folks, welcome to this, the final episode of Beginner's Collection Essentials. Thanks for sticking around for this long. There's been 14 episodes. Why the heck 14? Well, you may remember there were 6 cubes that I said at the start that I was assuming everybody already had. The 2x2, the 3x3, the 4x4 and the 5x5 and the 3x3x2 and the 3x3x4. Have a look at all of them at the end. So what is this puzzle that has made it into the last spot? Well, it is the Latch Cube. Hey, don't turn off. I know the Latch Cube is not currently available, but I want to talk about that at the end of this video. Now this Latch Cube, you can see the stickers are fairly worn because I've played with it a lot. This thing, I didn't scramble it for over a year after I got it. Reason? I was too scared. I was scared that I would never be able to solve it because I had read a lot of stuff about it. This was 2 or 3 years ago, and it was said to be the hardest cube in existence, or the hardest puzzle in existence. Now I don't think that is anymore. I'd say if anything the geranium or possibly Atan's star would probably be the hardest puzzle. Certainly Atan's star is definitely the hardest twisty puzzle. The geranium, whether you call it a twisty puzzle or not, those two are absolute killers. So if you're looking for something super difficult, go get them. In any event, this is the Latch Cube, and you can see it's got on that sticker Latch Cube Katsuhiko Okamoto. That is the man who invented it. Now, Mr. Okamoto also did the 3x3x1 floppy cube, the 2x2x3, the lattice cube, the master cube, the quarter cube, the void cube, and the windmill cube, among others. So you've already heard his name because we did the windmill cube back in about episode 2 or something. So look, it's a bandaged cube where each face can only be turned in certain directions, and you'll see there's a black arrow going anti-clockwise, there's a white arrow going clockwise. No can turn. Will not happen unless you break it. This face just got the one white arrow, so we can't go that way, but we can certainly go this way. And you'll see that it clicks as it turns. What about this face? Just got the one black arrow, so it can only turn this way. It'll click, it can't turn back. Now over here we've got 2 whites and a black, so this is not going to turn at all. If I can turn that and just have 2 whites, now it will turn. So a face which has no arrows will obviously turn in any direction because there's no constraints, and you'll hear that there's no actual clicks because the arrows make the clicks. So then the thing to consider is, what about a face like this? All 4 arrows are the same direction and that can only turn that direction, but we click. Whoop! We click every time. This one, no clicks. This is a very interesting puzzle. It's well worth getting if you can. I said I'd talk about that. Now when you're trying to solve this thing, it obviously causes a lot of problems because you'd like to build it up as you'd solve a normal 3x3, but you just find that you go to do something and you just can't, and you've got to unbandage that and you've got to move this, and then you try and move that and it's gone, and forget it. Quite a difficult puzzle. Now, if this thing was currently available, I would definitely have had it in, and I would have had it in earlier in the series. I wanted it in, but it's not available. However, I actually contacted the Tribox store. They're the people who sell it and they make it, and I asked them about the Latch Cube. I said, do you have any in stock? And they said, no, we don't. Do you think it's a popular puzzle? And I said, yeah, I reckon you'd snap up heaps of sales if you produced it again. And they said, okay, we'll make another production batch. Now you might think, oh, he's just fobbed me off. Well, have a look at this graphic here. This is straight from the Tribox store, and you'll see that it says out of stock, but you'll also see that it says awaiting new production. And that to me is fantastic. I'm going to take them at their word, so I am assuming that this Latch Cube will become produced again at some point. I'm certainly hoping. If it does, I'll be buying another one for sure. This thing was never super expensive when it was available, but that's why I've included it. I have broken my rule about it being available, but I have included it on faith that it will become available soon. What I would recommend that you do is, if you really want the Latch Cube, that you contact Tribox. They actually get back to you. They communicate with you. Contact Tribox and say, when is the Latch Cube coming out? Please produce the Latch Cube. I'm quite confident that the more people that do that, the more chance we've got of actually getting it back into production. So There it is, that is the Latch Cube. Now, I thought for this final episode that we should really have a look at what other puzzles that we've got in this collection. This is my idea of a beginner's collection. So what did we say? Well, the starting puzzles were the 2x2, the 3x3. This is probably going to go out of picture at the end of it all. The 4x4 and the 5x5. We started with those ones, and I also said, you know what, we'd probably have a 3x3x2. Maybe I should put these right at the back. That's a much better idea. Man, I'm smart. 3x3x2 and a 3x3x4. This is not going to look aesthetically pleasing, but that's okay. Now, the first puzzle we looked at, if you remember, was the Rex Cube. So that made puzzle number 7. And the Rex Cube, just recapping, was one of these vertex turners. Oh, great puzzle that is. Then we had the windmill / fisher. And I actually included sort of both of these. Reaching over here for them, and I said, look, take your pick. They're kind of quite similar. They're 3x3 mods, so that's them. Then we talked about the Scube. Here's the Scube. The Scube was this puzzle that turned like that and pretty much did your head in every time you looked at it. What was next? The Megaminx. Oh my goodness, I've just got to reach over and get that. Just talk amongst yourselves for a bit. There's the Megaminx, and I'm going to bring in some others closer. Okay, the Megaminx sitting here, and this of course was a dodecahedron. It's a great base puzzle for the things like the Gigaminx and the Terraminx and all the other dodecahedra that we've got now. Next was the 3x3x5. Now, you remember that I said at the time, take your pick between this and the 4x4x6. So they're both shapeshifters and that they'll do that sort of thing. The 4x4x6 also does it, but being an even layered cube, it just poses a few more problems than the 3x3x5. So being a beginner's collection essential, I said, look, let's go with the 3x3x5. Take your pick though if you want something a little more challenging. Next I had the bandaged kit, and I only have the cube here at the moment. This comes with a whole kit of pieces. This was the one where you could pull these bits off, almost like Lego. Put that on correctly there. And you could make literally thousands of puzzles from that bandaged kit. If you haven't got that, you are seriously missing out. This thing is still under $18. I don't know how. Next one was the Square One. Square One, a very well known puzzle, very bizarre puzzle, and yeah, enough said about that one. The next one, the Curvy Copter, and this was sort of the big brother of the helicopter cube. I chose the Curvy Copter because it looked so nice. It is an edge turner, and therefore of course it does jumble. Can I make it jumble here live on video? Yes, look at that. Okay, so this was the Curvy Copter. What came after that? The mix-up plus the 3x3 version. So this was a mix-up in that you can turn these edges into the center position and then, oh my goodness, turn them off like that. And it's a mix-up plus because the edges are actually broken. They're split into different bits, so we can then turn those little bits off. This is an absolutely wonderful puzzle, the mix-up plus the 3x3 version, so I'd highly recommend that. After that came the V-Cube 6. What have I done with that? Here it is, over here. Now I did specifically say the V-Cube, and not the original 6 version. This is the upgraded 6 version. I know this is close to the camera, but I'm running out of room. This one is a great cube. It turns beautifully, easily as good as the Shengshao 6. I know there's always going to be debate about those sort of things. I don't care. I'm just trying to arrange these cubes here. The V-Cube 6, sure, it's a little bit like the 4, but it's a higher order cube, and I think it's a must-have. The next one we looked at were the Crazy Planet cubes, and I showed you the ones that I had in coloured plastic, and I said you can't get these coloured plastic ones anymore, but you can certainly get black plastic. And why are these so good? Well, you know, some of the faces, the circle parts, don't turn. Some of them they do, and it just creates for a whole bunch of interesting puzzles. There's 8 planets in that series, but you only need 2. I was going to say 2. You only need 2 which have complementary centres. So between these 2 puzzles, Neptune and Mars, I have 6 zero-face centres. That's not a zero face. That's a zero face. And I have 6 one-face centres, which means I can make the entire set. So I thoroughly recommend you go and get them. $44 will get you 8 puzzles. That's the Crazy Planet cubes. Remember, black plastic only at the moment. They've sold out of coloured plastic, have been for quite a while. What was next? Episode 12, we had the Diane Gem version 3. Again, I said take your pick with that. Episode 13, I showed the Ghost Cubes, and there's one of the ones that I've got. And the Ghost Cube, probably the hardest 3x3 mod in existence. I'm really running out of room here now. And of course, this episode finally was the Latch Cube. Okay, there it is. What do you think? That's a beginner's collection in my book. Around about 20 puzzles in total, 21 if you count both of them. I don't know, I could take one of them out, couldn't I? Take that one out, put that one in, put it at the back, put the V-Cube there. It's just never going to work. Anyway, around about 20 puzzles. Now it's over to you. What do you think? Did I get it right? What puzzles did I miss out? What should I have included? Do you think I've got the list spot on? If you do think I've got the list spot on and you tell me, I've got a small island off the coast of Australia here to sell you very, very cheap. Leave your comments, tell me what you think. Really appreciate it if you've watched every episode of this. Thanks very much. If you've got ideas for other series that you'd like to see, by all means let me know. Happy to listen to them. Once again, thanks for watching.